Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maxine, and together with my team, Rainmakers, Gaurav, Vivian, and Rachel, we have developed a business model for the increase in uptake of smart meters in homes. To begin, we recognize that there's an imbalance as to how much energy is put into the grid versus how much energy is consumed. To combat the growing duck curve as more households install solar panels, smart meters are linked to flexible rates that make peak hours, as data from the meters can influence company prices. Approximately a quarter of total benefits rely on 75% of the residential consumers changing their energy consumption behavior. Based on our research, it was shown that 71% of residential owners had neutral or distrust with their energy providers. Transparency. Furthermore, 65% of Australian residential owners are more concerned about the reliability of the products they buy. What are solutions to these fears and make companies seem more transparent to consumers to build trust between them? And moving on to our business model, we're looking at a revamp of apps from flexible tariff energy process. We're looking to make it more user-friendly and interactive, showing them exactly where the off-peak and peak hours are and sending daily energy alerts of these hours. Recommendations to help them be more conscious of their energy usage and their impact on the environment. More importantly, as you can see in the first iPhone image, we have included a list collected from smart meters to promote transparency to the public and hopefully quell any data privacy fears. In doing so, we're educating the consumers and subtly pushing them to shift hours. Then the next step would be including the email when they get their electricity bill, a small quote saying, "We've noticed that you shift your load towards more off-peak hours." A smart meter, as well as providing the benefits of having a smart meter coupled with having a flexible load. This thought process was due to the 37% of consumers who have stated electricity management programs and the devices is when they're reading their bill and emails. Based on our timeline, we'll begin with the first step, which is to conduct a consumer. Once this is complete, then we can move on to collaborations and partnerships with electricity companies that have flexible rates and existing apps, then beginning the gamification process. Once this is done, the app should be intuitive for the customers to use, aesthetic, and more transparent. We can then move on to their websites if necessary. Then further education with the uptake of smart meters to current numbers by 2030, or 2025, sorry. For a gamification service for providers to become more transparent, easy to use, and interactive for consumers. Flexible tariffs and the eventual. Thank you for your time, and we'll open the floor to any questions.
Brilliant. Great job, guys. Naz, you've got a question pending?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Alex, and thanks, team. It's an interesting sort of concept and presentation that you've made, because I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but this actually concept of gamification has entered the Australian marketplace with Origin Energy, with a joint venture with OHM, the US company. So the first time Australia actually has gamification type of concept, rewarding customers for changing their behavior and using less energy. So very topical. Can you talk to me, I'm not sure if I understood how you would incentivize the take-up of smart meters, and specifically around the costs. So there's a cost associated with smart meters. Did you explore how the business model will cover the cost of smart meters and whether consumers would have to pay and what that would cost?
Yep, so I can answer that question. So in terms of our actual business model, we were hoping that in our app we'd have a list of different things that customers could do in order to reduce their energy consumption and be more energy efficient. One of those things, if you drop down that list tab, it gives you recommended appliances, like advertising essentially. So that is in a way gaining revenue for us, because we're sort of advertising and getting a commission based on that. In terms of the uptake of smart meters, we were looking at it more of a broader perspective about how consumer behavior needs to be changed in the long term in order to actually get people to even consider paying even a little bit for smart meters. And that's why we were sort of focusing on finding a way, such as through the gamification process, in order to actually get them to that position. I hope that answers your question. If anyone else wants to, well, that's okay.
So would there be a cost by the consumer to install a smart meter?
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, so there probably will be. We would hope that it would be in a sense subsidised by the government or even by the energy company, but that is something that we would have to look into in terms of the customer feasibility report and actually seeing if people would be willing to pay the $600 and maybe a little bit more even for that smart meter.
Great, thank you.
I would also like to add in that we have also touched the part where the customers can pay the double the amount, and he can deposit that, and the energy provider can deposit that money in a bank, and after like 10 years we can repay the money the principal amount back to the customer, and we will get our interest rate from the bank, and we'll get our money like the cost of the smart meter. So it's a win-win situation for customer and the energy provider.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. Pranya, did you have any questions? No. Melbourne or Naz, any last questions?
So do you guys have a sense of how long it would take to recoup the investment by the consumer before you think this would be like economical for them? So like what's the maximum price someone would pay for this, and like do you have any sort of reasoning around that?
Yeah.
For meter? Sorry, you go.
You guys, sorry.
For the smart meter, you mean?
Yeah.
So we kind of a consultancy to energy providers and to customers. So we kind of gamifying the app for the energy providers, and we will be educating the customers also. So with the interest plan we have developed, so by that I think.
Hey Alex, I cannot hear at the moment.
I think the customer will invest in it because the meters are free for them at a long run. If you install 1 meter, in a lakh, some 10,000 meters will be bad. So company keeps a share out to replace that odd meters out, and will have a total risk assessment for the interest and everything. Financial data will calculate, and that's all.
I suppose I'll add on to that as well. So our customers aren't actually the consumers themselves, which are the household owners. So they're not bearing any costs. What our solution is proposing, what we're proposing with our solution is that we want to take pre-existing apps that smart energy providers have and gamify it. So through that gamification, hopefully energy providers can get more customers there, and they can earn revenue through the existing product. So our customers is to the energy providers. Customers are to their consumers. If that makes sense. So we won't really worry about the cost side of things.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.